Thank you.
Need more volume?
Just a little bit, if you don't mind.
All right.
Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Got a brand new exciting show back in the studio again. This week, of course, no reruns this week. Got an awesome show. Lots of stuff to talk about and some very interesting stuff to talk about this week as well. Last week, we talked about the brand new macro market numbers. We looked at what was happening here across the Grand Strand. And interesting enough, we saw a decline in sales, up 13% decline in sales. And so this week, we'll dig into what's your neighborhood doing. We'll dig into really what's happening with the micro market numbers, which is what's happening in each specific area along the Grand Strand. That data really matters because you see different areas performing different ways based on the market conditions right now. We'll talk about what's going on there. One of the biggest stories and some of the biggest news this past few weeks really has been interest rates. Huge news. Interest rates just saw the highest numbers in over a decade since 2009. And we'll talk about what that means, what happens there. Back up this week, back down a little bit at the end of the week, but still up. And so that's going to obviously affect people who buy and sell. So we'll talk about what that means for you. And also this week, we've seen a slight increase in inventory, which is good. As of this morning, 380 plus homes for sale in Horry County. We've been averaging around 330, 340. Last week's show, I think, was right on 350. So that's something we'll talk about. The good news is we're still seeing pending deals perform pretty well. But the craziness is still going on in terms of what that is. We also talk about some national data. Right now is a very good time to sell if you're thinking about selling. It's that spring market into summer market. Our entire team is running around like crazy right now. People in town for the holiday weekend who've been stalking properties, who are down here looking, many of which are making decisions to buy before they go. One people on our team today, Keith, he's shown 7 properties to his client. They're from out of town. They've been looking for a while, and they have to write a contract before they go today. And we're seeing that happen over and over. And so we'll talk about some data of why it may be a good idea right now, why there's still a great opportunity for home sellers, but you want to take advantage of this window right now. Also, we'll talk about some amazing success stories. Our team's been absolutely crushing it. One instance got $11,000 over asking price for our clients. And we're also seeing many horror stories right now. The reality is the market's so fast and such a fast pace. Many agents don't have the experience to help advise their clients in the right way. And you're seeing mistakes happen more and more often. We'll talk about that as well here after the next break.
Is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yes, that's one thing that really is the DNA, the why behind this show, and why we do that, because there's just so many mistakes that people make and what they see, and they don't really understand why they get the result they do. And so here's the thing. It doesn't matter how affluent the client is, how many properties they bought, sold, they still make the same mistake over and over again. And just honestly, it just blows my mind because here's the deal. It's just like any doctor, any lawyer. If you're charged with a crime you did not commit, you know that you're innocent and you need somebody to help defend you. That last person you want is a part-time attorney who's maybe tried a few cases before and they're your friend of a friend, right? You want the absolute best, most aggressive, most detail-oriented, and really someone who specializes in that type of law who can help you in that because the stakes are so high. And when you're dealing with your largest asset or one of your largest assets, you want to think the same exact way because here's the deal. The single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent that you choose, period. Not the wall color, not the grass quality. It comes down to the agent you have and really how they execute in all those variables. And that can be anything from price strategy. Does the agent answer the phone when a buyer calls them, right? What are the quality of photos? What are the order of the photos? How long does it take them to respond to a web lead online? How hard do they negotiate? What do they review when they negotiate? How do they help handle the home inspection? All these things over and over cost a lot of money. And a lot of times people don't realize that by doing so with an agent who just sells the average amount of homes per year. In our MLS, the average agent sells 4.3 homes a year. That's not a whole lot of money to really eat with. much less spending marketing for you. But more importantly, they're not getting the experience and the real-time data to help make good decisions, to help advise you in the right way as a home seller. And so one thing I thought is, look, there's got to be a better way. Most agents, and I grew up in this business, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma, whole family sold real estate. I grew up putting signs out when I was 2 years old and spent a lot of time in offices growing up. And I just always, after a while, getting this business, said, look, there's got to be a better way. And one of the things I did was looked at what businesses did outside of real estate and said, hey, how could you bring that same type of thing and processes and systems and people and bring that into real estate so you can get predictive results on the back end? Because how most agents operate, you have one single agent or maybe a husband and wife team or something, but you have one agent who's trying to juggle all the balls. So all those 118 different variables they're trying to do by themselves. And so what you end up getting is what we call the 3 Ps. Number one, they promise the world to get the listing, meaning they tell you anything and everything that you want to hear, usually that they're number one, right? Everybody says they're number one. I don't know what they're number one to, but that's what they all say. Number two, they put it to MLS. And three, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the next listing because that's how they survive, right? They don't actually sell the listing in most cases. They put listing in MLS, they give half the commission away, and they're okay getting half, and they're just trying to hunt down the next listing so they can survive in the business. And really the person who takes the most really beating on that is the homeowner because they have no clue that's even happening. And so what I said, look, there's got to be a better way. And we sought out and create a system that's proven and repeatable, that creates maximum leverage for our client. We call it stacking the dominoes. And so we know there's 118 different variables. How can we put people and technology and software in place to make sure that we manage all of those proactively in the right order every single time? And that's what we did. I designed the guaranteed sold system. The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. And it's designed to do one single thing: give our client a competitive advantage in the marketplace in that scenario. And it's how we do it over and over and over again. And it's also been a huge advantage for us because our business model is different. When I was at a big box store, I started out one of the big box stores, actually worked at 2 big box stores, so to speak. And what it was is me and 200 other agents. The reality was I didn't care about those 200 agents, and the last thing they cared about was me. And so we were all just independent individuals who were doing our own thing, and we were just under the same brand. The only difference between real estate brands is just how they pay their agents. There's nothing in alignment from a business model standpoint that really gives you, the consumer, an advantage. And so what we did and what I did is say, hey, look, we want to create a business model that's a team model where everyone is a team of specialists, not a generalist. And so when I was at the big box store, what we had was a generalist, myself and everyone else at that time. We all just did everything. And guess what? We mastered nothing. And so in the new model, what we have is a team of specialists. We have an inside sales team, an outside sales team, administrative team who specializes in each aspect of what they do. And so when we're able to do that, we're much more efficient and much better at that part of the process, and it gives our client the results they want. And so that guaranteed sold system is phenomenal. I designed it. We licensed other agents, other parts of the country. On the flip side, it's very difficult right now for home buyers out there. If you're looking to buy something, investment side, for purchase for yourself or second home, we find that it's a very competitive marketplace right now. The average agent sells 4 homes a year. They're not going to know what the heck's going on or how to advise you to make a good offer to help you get the property that you want at the right price. And so we designed a system there. It's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Gives you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as through home inspection all the way to the closing table. And so the bottom line, if you take anything from the show, and that's why I say it every single show, because I come on here and share some really cool stuff. It doesn't matter if you don't understand the breakdown of why it's important to pick the best agent for you who has the best system in place that gives you a huge competitive advantage in the marketplace. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, call me anytime. We're in the office, 843-808-SOLD. Take a quick break, right back here with the micro market numbers in a second.
Market, Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. So what are home sellers? What do they need to know about the market right now? Home sellers need to know the market here in the Grand absolutely on fire. We're seeing record numbers in terms of prices that sellers are getting. It's almost unbelievable. We're seeing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars coming in the Northeast that are just coming bidding up properties and getting sellers more money than they ever thought possible. Got it. Now, how will that get them more money? That's going to help get home sellers more money because there's more buyers here than we've ever seen before. But we're not sure how long that's going to last. We are seeing that start to level off a little bit. And some of that interest has started to slow down. So sellers definitely need to take advantage of the super hot market right now before there's any type of shift. All right, as always, thanks for the insight. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Parker. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. We offer several options for home sales, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers in a time crunch, you can agree to sell it by a certain date, pay cash for your home, or even rent it.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time,
Use our proven marketing plan to sell for the highest price.
work with my friend Blake Sloan and get the home sold on your terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Got the brand new market numbers in. They're interesting to say the least. For anybody that missed last week's show, I'm just going to recap super quick in terms of, all right, what happened last month in terms of the overall macro market, which is, hey, the whole Grand Strand, Southern North Carolina, all the way down past McClellanville, all the way in, inland past Marion, Dillon, Mullins, all that. And so almost to Florence. And so last week's show, all the data continues to come in, but it was the 13 point something percent decrease in home sales from the same month last year. Right now, real-time data, some more sales have been entered by agents, 15, 20 days later, but they put it in, and right now it's down 10.8%. So last month, 10.8% decrease in terms of home sales from the same month last year. So you're seeing that happen, right? One of the first times we're seeing significant decline here in terms of the actual amount of homes sold. So like last month, 693 homes sold overall in 2022 versus March of last year, 777. So big difference there in that scenario. The great news, though, we're still rock and rolling like crazy in terms of prices. Right now, median price, a new record. Right now, median price on the Grand Strand up 25.3% from the same time last year, 357,000 even. What's really cool, if you go back to January 2019, it was 210. So 210 at 357. That's a lot of extra equity right now. We're seeing sellers that really bought with us in like 16, 17, calling us and saying, hey, look, Blake, what can we get? And we're telling them numbers, and their minds are blown right now. So if you're thinking about that, you bought anytime really between 2010 and 2019, you got massive amounts of equity even since then. But those people that the minds are blown the most. Looking at average sale price up 28.2%, a new record now for the Grand Strand, $462,470, which is awesome. Something that really is a new record here on the Grand Strand, and something I never thought I'd see growing up here in terms of that number, which is awesome. Months of supply down 23.1% from the same month last year at 1.0 months. We're still in a super seller's market. We're still in an inventory crisis. I do watch that number daily. It is up a little bit from where it was. Like right now, if you look at overall on the Grand Strand, there's 392 homes for sale. I checked this morning. It was like 387. A few homes have been listed today. So in Horry County for a resale home, aka non-new construction, only 392 homes for sale right now in all of Horry County. If you look at, overall the last week, the last 7 days, there have been 705 properties that have been gone under contract in the last 7 days. And one of the coolest things you're looking at, we're seeing so much high-end buyers right now, big-time money coming in. If you look at the last 7 days, 21 properties over $1 million went under contract, which is crazy. You look at anything over 500,000, which is interesting data I'll share with my team this week. If you look at anything over 500,000 in the last 7 days, I'm still scrolling down here. It was actually right now 122 properties over 500,000 under contract in the last 7 days. So big time money coming in right now. We're seeing that on the investing side. One of the big things, we have investors yesterday from Idaho, from California, and they're calling saying, look, we're seeing online everywhere some of the best buys are still in the Myrtle Beach area, and they're buying stuff, many of which are sight unseen. And so looking for income producing properties, oceanfront properties. We just put a $2 million oceanfront property under contract last week. And so there's a lot, and we just closed in a second row oceanfront property that we listed and we sold that the previous agent couldn't sell for $1.2 million in Myrtle Beach. You close that on Friday. So lots of big money coming in right now. If you want to know more about that and really get what your numbers would be, reach out to me for sure. Really quick, I'm going to run through the micro market numbers. This is what I get the most feedback on. This is what I get the most questions about. Ideally, though, it's the hardest to do on radio because I have to fly through all these different ones. So just bear with me. We'll get to your zip code. It does matter, especially when you start thinking about what to do. One of the first things we do with our client, we look at the overall macro market, the micro market, which is their zip code. We do their neighborhood. We have software we design that breaks down the neighborhood and lets us know where do we position your house and how far ahead can we position it over anybody else to get you the most amount of money. And so that's super cool. Looking at Myrtle Beach, 29572, 29577 last month, down 1.1%. Really from 91 to 90, not a big deal. But year to date, though, Myrtle Beach is down 13.9% overall, which is interesting. The overall prices Prices are good though. Price last month up 22%. So last March, 344,900. This March, 426.60. So big time numbers here overall. And the condos, closed sales last month for condos up 11.2%, which is awesome. Year-to-date condos in Myrtle Beach up 17.7%. Check this out though. Prices up 32.1% last month alone, just in Myrtle Beach. So last March, overall median price is 151,450. Right now it's 200,000, which is awesome. Inventory down 68.9% for condos. And this is crazy. If you look at last March, there were 745 condos for sale. Right now, 232 condos for sale. So you can see my problem, right? There's just hardly anything out there right now. And look in terms of what these buyers are looking for. So North Myrtle Beach, 29582. Closed sales last month, down 10.3%. Year to date, up 13.6%. Prices, though, the same story, right? Is prices last month in North Myrtle Beach for single-family homes up 32%. So last year in March, 449. This year, 592. So massive increase in terms of equity for homeowners there. Inventory is also down 57.4%. Condo sales in North Myrtle Beach down 17.8%. The great news, prices up 36.4% right now. 220,000 last year. Right now, 300,000. So extra $80,000 in your pocket if you bought last year and are holding on to that still right now. Little River, sales down last month, down 4.7%. Year to date, though, they're down 9.7%. The great news, price is still up 35.8%. Last year, 268,705. Right now, 365,011. So $365,011. Year to date, prices up 36.1%. So those are on track there. And what you're seeing protect these prices when you see the decline in sales, what's protecting it is just the low inventory. There's just nothing out there. So even though you're seeing a decline in sales, prices are still going up for now. But that is a lagging indicator. We'll kind of see what happens here as interest rates continue on. Condos and townhouses in North Myrtle Beach down 21.7% in March. So that's interesting there. Year to date, only down 1.8%. One of the biggest reasons, though, is inventory is down 74% right now in North Myrtle Beach area. The good news is price is up 28% from 134,750 last year to 172,500 this year, which is awesome. Into Loris and Longs, sales pretty much even, down 1.0%. So last year, 99 sales. This year, 98 sales. The good news is year to date, Loris and Longs up 23.4%. That's because really the past couple of years, you've just seen a lot of building out there, a little more inventory, which has been helpful overall. Median price up 29.5% right now year to date. I'm sorry, for last month, which is awesome. 225 to 291. Year to date up 28.8%. Which is great news there. Inventory, Loris and Longs down 39.9%. Not many condo sales out there, obviously. Into Conway, 29526, 29527. Sales last month up 18.5%, which is awesome. Year to date up 6.0%. Inventory down 43.7% overall, which is good. Prices up 34.8, like we said, 289,866. So great news here for Conway. A lot of extra equity for homeowners there. Carolina Forest still on fire, which is great. Overall area there. Closed sales up 23.7% last month, which is great. Prices also up 36.3%. So last year in March, the overall median price, $322.60. So $322,060. Right now, $438,891, which is just nuts. And so a lot of extra equity there. If you're in that area, we've been selling properties there within minutes over asking price. And that's one of the hottest areas right now because you see the growth in Carolina Forest overall. Inventory is also way down 22.5% overall. And the Soxie area closed sales last month, 6.0%. Year to date, though, sales are down 3.5%. One of the good things, though, prices still up last month, up 32.6%. So last year, $240,000. Right now, $318,134. So $80,000 in equity for the average Soxie homeowner right now. They made in the last 12 months, which is huge. That's one thing. The average property in Soxie right now is selling for 100.4% of asking price. And so great news there for homeowners in Soxie area. Again, that's where I went to high school, Soxie High School, grew up in Surfside. And next, Surfside right here, 29575 zip code. Closed sales up last month, which is awesome, up 19.3%. Prices also up 17.7% from 295 last year in March to 347,135 this year, which is awesome news. Inventory definitely way down 27.7%. Closed sales for condos in Surfside actually equal. 57 last year, 57 this year, which is great in the last month. Looking at prices, though, prices in Surfside for condos up 41% last month versus same month last year. Inventory also down 55.8%. Last couple months here, Garden City, Myrtle's Inlet, sales down 20% for single family homes. So you can see there's just a big difference, right? That's why you always want to know the micro market data, because some are up, some are down 20%. The good news is price is still up right now, 25.5%. 322 last year to 405 170. Inventory is still the big story there, down 45.1%. Last couple here, Pawleys Island and Litchfield, significant decline, which is interesting. So a 32.9% decrease in sales for Pawleys Island, Litchfield. The good news is prices are still up. Last month up 34.7% from 402,890 last year to 542,500. So 140,000 in equity there for the overall homeowner in that area, which is awesome. Georgetown also a decline in sales, down 14.0%. Median price up 73.6% year over year. We've seen a lot of people who used to were looking in Myrtle Beach, Surfside, Pawleys Island. They've started to move their search down to Georgetown, even further out, Johnsonville, because that's just where inventory is, and there's some affordability there for single family. So that's one of the big areas from a price increase we've seen. So overall, market's interesting. One thing that's going to really determine a lot of that is going to be interest rates. That's the big story right now. And here's the thing. If I'm thinking about selling, we have seen it soften just a little bit from the seller side, where we were getting multiple offers, 5, 6, 7 offers. Now I may get 1 or 2 offers in some of them. We have seen some properties maybe sit a little bit longer in the MLS, not ours necessarily, but that's something to keep watching based on what happens with rates, because it simply prices some buyers out, or it makes them wait a little bit. Right now, for a 30-year fix rate, 5.15%. We did hit a high this week, though, of 5.25%. Which is the highest it's been since 2009. Looking at last week's show, 4.97%. Week before that, 4.71. If you go back to 6 weeks ago, down 4.02. So right now, a 15-year fixed rate, 4.45%. A 30-year FHA loan, 4.75%. A 30-year jumbo loan, 4.35%. And a 5-year adjust rate mortgage right now, 4.02%. So that's going to determine, be based on the actual buyer, the borrower, and what type of property is. There is an extra charge right now you're seeing from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on second homes. That's something we can talk about later, but that is something that may cool off some second home marketplaces like we are here. And so if you're thinking about selling, if you're a homeowner, right, you're seeing rates rise significantly. I think we're going to continue to see those to rise, especially based on the recent inflation numbers and kind of what we're hearing inside the industry. And so if you're thinking about buying or refinancing, take action now. Would not wait very, very long. From a home seller, think about the higher the rates go, the less buyers will qualify for your property, and you may see it cool off a little bit. One of the articles that Dave shared to me just from a recent thing that talked about Myrtle Beach, and it said 33% of Myrtle Beach fixed rate mortgages have a rate worse than U.S. average. And it's interesting. It talks about in here, I'll just read what it says. After an extended run of intense competition, high prices in the residential real estate market, 2022 is bringing signs that the market could begin to cool soon. And it talks about inflation, also rates going up. And so very, very interesting to think about. I don't necessarily foresee a home driven crash or anything like that. It may cool off a little bit just because some buyers who are super, super intense and looking to buy may pump the brakes a little bit as rates go on. So take advantage of our spring market, our summer market. We'll talk about that here. I'll take a quick break. Be right back in a second. What are we looking at, Tom?
About 3.5 to 4 minutes, I think.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Get this, Blake guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to with a buy now. Since you know when your current home will sell by and for how much to buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with your mortgage. There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 5-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group. And tune in to Blake's show Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Big shout out there to Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Honored to be in business with them. I'm actually flying. Got an email a little while ago from his people. I'm actually flying to Nashville in a couple of weeks to hang out with Clay for a little while in the afternoon, which is going to be super cool. Very excited about that. I'll take some pictures and share that with everyone. Very, very great show. I love them. and they're doing a good job, obviously, filling in here on Talk Radio. So very, very excited about that. Couple minutes left. Hot buyer alert. That's a big thing we do every week. It's huge right now. My team and I are working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area from 150,000 all the way up to 4.2 million. If you're looking to sell, reach out, call me, 843-808 sold. The advantage we have is we outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint, literally, to drive traffic from all over the globe. And so right now, our active buyers we have who are username, password account, searching our site live is 67,345 active home buyers. Again, 67,345 active home buyers. Right now, I got San Francisco, I can't say it, San Francisco, California, Huntington, West Virginia, Long, South Carolina, all over the place. But if you're thinking about buying, we have buyers already that I spent money on to acquire to help service them and be able to match them up with your house instantly, which is awesome. That's awesome. So here's the deal. We got 2 minutes left, Dave? Awesome. 2 quick success stories. Bob and Gail recently made a decision to move back to Virginia to be closer to family. Thankfully, Bob had listened to our radio show and knew the only person to call, Blake Sloan. We met with Bob and Gail, their luxury home in the Bluffs and the Waterway, shared exactly how we can get their home sold quickly. And for top dollar, we designed a custom plan, launched our gold marketing blitz, professional photos, virtual reality tour. Within no time, drove massive traffic, had one of our own buyers, also in our team, matched up a buyer from our marketing to their property, got under contract, almost full price. Now they're super happy, smooth transaction, moving back to Virginia, which is awesome. Also, Lyle and Sarah found a property they really liked and wanted to purchase it. The problem was they need to sell their current home ASAP and for top dollar in order to purchase a new property. The major concern, they couldn't sell theirs fast enough to be able to buy the new one. Does that sound familiar? Thankfully, obviously, they were referred to us by amazing radio listener. We met with them, showed exactly how our 67,000 buyers can get matched up. Launched global marketing blitz, professional photos, 24 hours. Had an as-is offer, $11,000 over asking price. They were absolutely blown away, and they can now purchase their new one while having security of the one being purchased, obviously, by someone from us. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or blakesloan.com anytime.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm moving on, won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes. For many, that happens when it comes time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.